So one of my favourite thing to do at work was to deal with the photographers and design the big picture pages. We were still a broadsheet then, and we always had the Saturday back page was a picture page, and the photographers were given sort of free rein to come up with ideas for that page and research it, then go and do it, and then it would go in the paper. Now, sometimes this was news driven, for example, following a US presidential candidate on the campaign trail. Sometimes it was as simple as spring has come and it's lovely leaves and daffodils and pretty things in a park. The photographers were the great part of the Independent. They were the really exciting visual people, and some of them being creative were a bit difficult, but the work they created was just outstanding. And even the editor would just, be amazed at what they would produce, and he would look in awe at these pages when they were done and say, God, Brian Harris, our chief photographer, how did you get that picture? Well, sometimes the photographers, if they were in dodgy situations or areas covering a news related picture feature, they put themselves at risk to get these great pictures, or they endured some very difficult times. I always remember Brian telling me about going to Rwanda just after the genocide, and they were driving towards a particular village, and he could see these pink ribbons parallel to the road, and it wasn't until he got closer that he realized it was bodies, piled up. And he didn't feel he could photograph those, but he did do lots of other pictures that really brought it home to people what was going on there. In human terms, our memories are much more visual. When we see something, it stays in our memory for longer. If you said Vietnam War to anyone, everyone thinks of the picture of the little girl running down the road, her clothes have burned off, and she's screaming in terror. The independence photographers took such memorable pictures, whether they were from war zones or a sporting event or the Olympics or political. Thatcher's last day in office, for example. I remember Brian managed to find an access point in a building across from 10 Downing Street, and he was waiting for Thatcher to come out, and he did get the picture of her teary-eyed in the car through a massive zoom lens, and it is a little grainy, but it's still very moving because you can see how much it means to her to be leaving, and those images just stay with you.